it's just a good shout out from Hum and from JDG to go, hey, look, this is actually something that we don't have to worry about in draft, because realistically, RNG haven't brought it out yet.
Well, we see RNG on the blue side this time around, be swapping sides yet again. The Kalista, the Poppy ban, immediate priorities for this RNG squad. And it is the Zeri again, the Talia again for JDG. Renata, the final ban of the first phase by RNG.
So will JDG ban the Wukong? RNG going to try and set up for a first pick of that one here? Or maybe they just go back towards the Aphelios again, which has been the first pick on both sides of this draft. But it definitely feels like the Wukong has been instrumental on both sides to having this strong jungle. And it looks like RNG are going to go for that. So Hope and Missing will probably get their hands on that the Aphelios, and maybe we get the response with the Lucian Nami once more for RNG.
I would expect, I would expect JDG to go ahead and lock that one in, right? I mean, we've seen both times the Lucian Nami lane has come out on top in crazy fashion, but JDG going to feel confident and comfortable with that one.
The question, though, is like, do you end up just going back towards something that's going to be like relatively fine to just scale into the late game? Like a Senna Tam Kench could come out. The Jinx not going to be as strong because you still have a lot of ways to like close the gap, but there is an opportunity to go towards that if you'd like to. But it looks like RNG gonna say, nah, we're happy to take the Aphelios once more. Nautilus gonna come through, so the Anchor seeking the fish. Maybe with the Wukong having control here, maybe if Xiaohu can get a good counter matchup in the mid lane, they can actually look to play around this bottom side a bit better. But once more, mid laners left out to dry. Top laners will be left out to dry as well. It's a very similar draft to what we've seen every single time.
I actually think it's kind of fun. I mean, in my head, I'm just thinking like RNG want another run at this, right? They want to give JDG this bot lane that's successful early, but not as much in the late game, and not let them win a late game team fight with it, right? Like that's just what I'm thinking in my head. It will be the Gnar tried and true for JDG. I think 369 will be more than happy to pilot that one in this Game 3 when we saw Breathe come to such functionality with that pick in Game 2. The Jax, again, just sticking to a lot of the same bans we've seen for this entire series.
Dropping Kanavi's priority, though, is really interesting to me, because you're now going to ban away junglers here as RNG. Viego going to be taken off the board. Maybe something like the Lee Sin gone. Maybe even the Vi, potentially, if you're that worried about it. But Vi, not really, like, traditionally seen into things like the the Aphelios. But I'm really interested to see now what exactly Kanavi has up his sleeve here to go against the Wukong. You see, the thing is, like, Velvet likes strong lanes, playing towards Rift Herald, and like having fights that kind of are situated around her. RNG, if you're able to like disrupt that with things like the Wukong and very quickly focus her down, that's not where Bel'Veth is very comfortable. So we'll have to see exactly what it is. So we'll be the vibe band away. So maybe it's just the Lee Sin here for Kanavi, like play towards that bot side and hope for the best.
That would be comfort, at least for him. Xin Zhao's still on the table as well, but I would like to see the Lee Sin just for a little bit of that playmaking ability, a little bit of that aggression that we've already seen obviously Kanavi play with this series long, and what we've seen him really succeed with for JDG. But you could go for a little bit of the setup, a little bit more of getting the tools needed to get this bottom lane ahead that is oh so needed with this composition so far. It'll be the Trundle as the last second switch for JDG.
I think this might smooth over a lot of the issues RNG had if we look at Game 1, though, because a lot of the problems that they had with this very similar draft was the threat of that backline dive on towards Aphelios. You don't really have that here for JDG. Trundle not going to provide that. The only threat really is this Gnar. And again, it looks like Xiaohu actually maybe going to bring out the Silas for the first time here in this split. Will be now locked in. So I think you've got a very strong front line to enable this Aphelios and the little threat for the backline. So this could actually be a game where Gala is much more comfortable than he was in, say, game number 1.
And looking at the need for agency for Xiaohu, well, you got it with this skirmish-heavy mid laner we saw already coming to huge skirmishing blows like last game. And I'm very excited to see Xiaohu try to pilot this one, especially with the amount of aggression we could see between him and Wei on the Wukong Silas, respectively. We do get the Kennen from Breeze, so we'll be trading top laners for this last game.
Yeah, first time Breeze is going to bring it out this split, but I think it's a good answer into the Gnar. Yagao going to go back towards the Azir, so going to be basically swapping back and forth a lot of these matchups across the board, but it's going to be very interesting to see now how RNG can try and play through this mid jungle and lean into that bot side. Deny Hope and Missing the opportunity to really bully in that bottom half of the map. I'm not going to be surprised though if JDG, like off of the level 2s and 3s, try and give like Kanavi topside start, let Hope and Missing have control over bot side, hit level 2 first, and then try and go for invades off of like mid and bot lane push. Because if you can actually use this Trundle matchup as Kanavi against Wei, you can bully out the Wukong in the early stages.
Yeah, I think the bullying is super important, especially win conditions here. For RNG, do you feel like, you know, just babysit that bottom lane, try to path down that way?
But I think that's the best bet. Like, you have a strong mid jungle. It does need, like, you know, a couple of levels before Sylas is really relevant in that matchup. But if you're able to try and help out there, I think that's your best spot to try. And then just lean bot. Make sure that you can't bully with the Lucian Nami as heavily. And then play in towards your team fights. Especially if you can get early dragons as RNG. That's going to be such a massive advantage for you. Even things like the Rift Tower as well will be really nice prizes for RNG to pick up.
It absolutely will be. I'm really excited because you've got to look at the early game that we've gotten for both these teams so far in this series, and especially the things behind the scenes for both these teams. We already talked about it a lot, but RNG have faltered when it's come to taking down the top competition in this league. They have fell to 2-1 to Top Esports, to V5. This is their moment for redemption to take down the top team in the LPL right now in the summer split. It is RNG, it is JDG, it's our match of the week, and it's Game 3, baby!
I will have to see if RNG can take down that top team. If JDG can keep the streak alive at defeating every one of our top teams. I've only dropped a single series to FPX. RNG have kind of swapped sides here with taking the Aphelios across, taking the Sylas away, taking that Kennen in the top side. I mean, it's literally a swap apart from Kanavi taking the Trundle into the jungle. So we'll have to see now if RNG can pilot their way to victory over JDG in this one.
And that's the thing for me. Does that Trundle make the difference in this third game? Is that what unlocks this composition for JDG in terms of finding the early conditions for them? Xiaohu going to play a little bit aggressively, trying to get that warding down as Yagao will spot him out, but nice cover from the rest of JDG. Again, though, it's that early aggression, it's the early pathing. Big spotlight. Kanavi, Wei, where will they try to get these leads? Where will they try to throw some eggs into their carries' baskets? Because you're looking at Xiaohu in the mid lane, that skirmishing, that mid-jungle duo, so important.
But already, I mean, we talked about Kanavi having the opportunity to start bot, start top, move towards the bot side. Looking for this level 2 against
He didn't get
Xiaohu.
spotted. He didn't get hit by the ward there. The nice little toggle from the observers is huge, and now Xiaohu just has to walk the long way around. Kanavi's got level 2 here. He's got the speed at least to keep up with Xiaohu. Luckily, Xiaohu still on the Sylas, just has to take a nice leisurely stroll through the jungle.
Yeah, Kanavi will start up the red buff, but Wei is on his way across, so we'll need to be careful that he's not falling foul of the monkey. He does have smite to make sure he can steal that one away, but this is what we're talking about, right? Kanavi using bot push, using mid control to go for these invades and make Wei uncomfortable.
That's
level
so
2
easy.
to level 3 though means that Kanavi will need to try and escape. Wei will spot his red buff has been taken, so we'll more than likely just go in towards his well, I was gonna say his raptors, in towards maybe the Scuttle Crab on bot side, but they want to try and make a gank mid.
But he's right on a ward, and he'll actually still try to find some damage onto Yagao. The stun connects from Xiaohu. That was really close, but Yagao gets out knowing that ward was there, knowing that Wei was spotted out. It'll still potentially be a skirmish over this bottom side scuttle as Wei headed down there and trying to look for his side of the jungle, but it looks like Kanavi has a bit of the upper hand with that priority you were talking about in bottom lane.
Weiwu should just try and clear out these raptors and move up towards top side. Like, Breathe has push. He's helped Xiaohu at least control that mid wave a little bit, so might be able to help out. But Kanavi, again, we talked about how this team likes to support this guy. We're starting to see it in the early stages of, you know, using the fact Hope and Missing have control bot. Azir has pushed mid, and Kanavi starting to run away with this a little bit. We'll spot out that the raptors have been taken, but maybe looking for a bot side play instead, as he spots out a Wei on the Brooks, though. I'm imagining Kanavi just goes and tries to take that top scuttle after maybe clearing his bot camps.
Wei's just trying to get as much as he can, because with the amount of pressure that's been already put in the mid and bot, and with Kanavi kind of just walking back and forth in this river to make sure both lanes are okay, it's really difficult for Kanavi, or at least Wei, to find anything against Kanavi. Kanavi will actually go for a little bit of a lane gank here. Dash out from Hope, will dodge out from the engage of Ming. Kanavi is looking for a little bit of a sneaky play down here in the bottom lane.
Level advantage for Wei, but Wei actually resets. Massimo spot the ward goes down.
Oh,
this could be a disaster now for RNG.
He's not going to pull the trigger just yet. He's waiting for them to step up a little bit more so he can get the pillar behind them. They're not going to find it just yet. Gala does have Infernum, does have the grab. Here's Kanavi, though. Ming immediately flashes with case he's scared for his life. And JDG, they don't get much, but they get a flash, and that's huge. And the heal, and the
pillar wasn't quick enough from Kanavi, so a lot used by RNG to escape that one, but at least they do escape. Wei now going to use the fact that he has that quicker reset and bot to steal away some of these Raptors on the top side. So Kanavi investing a lot of the tempo he picked up early to try and help out his bottom lane, and will do so, but it may cost him then in his own jungle matchup. So we'll have to keep our eyes on Hope and Missing to see what they can now do with this advantage. I imagine reset going to come through here for Hope and Missing. You know, use the fact you've got that early plate for yourself and start to get these items in your favor.
We did see a quick little ping from JDG onto the Dragon, but Kanavi already pathing up towards this top side of the map, so he's going for clearing out the rest of his jungle at least, and Wei will be getting the Scuttle Crab finally in the top side of the map. And both these junglers, instead of the crazy, chaotic skirmishing we got constantly in both other games, we're taking a little bit of a back seat here. We're getting that early, show onto the map, but then besides that, we're looking at farming, we're looking at scaling.
It means that Gala is willing to stay around for this last little bit of a wave, though, which he wasn't in the early stages. He will now reset, but with Cannon Wave here, Ming is moving towards mid, so I'm just a little bit nervous about Gala positioned here. Does have his flash, but a combo from Hope could cost him, but no mana on Hope now. Means that it opens up Ming to try and make some sort of play happen, but Xiaohu resetting the mid, nobody in the top side of the map as well. Ming won't really be able to do too much with the advantage he got in the quicker reset, apart from get some vision down.
Some vision around the early Dragon Pit here could be nice, though, as he was just hovering around the mid lane, trying to look for the vision. Not going to put any down just yet, but actually going to transition across into mid lane here. So Kanavi just going back towards his top side. He did get the reset off. We now have Sheens for both of these junglers. A little bit more damage, a little bit more clear speed in that aspect. And now that Wei is clearing out the final parts of his bottom side, with Dragon on the table, I wonder if we do see a little bit of adaptation into the early Dragon focus here.
I feel like that best bet is for JDG, just kind of leave it for the moment.
Yeah,
you're not really worried too much about a Cloud Dragon. You're more focused on, hey, look, let's try and focus on this Rift Herald play. So instead, I think Kanavi's going to clear back down towards the bot side and then try and force a play onto Hope and Missing after this bounce back of the wave in the bot side of the map. For RNG, you can see that they want to try and stop that. So already going to start trying to invade into this bot side of the map with the shove that they have and maybe get some vision control down, but I don't know about Wei starting up the Dragon here. This is very risky.
It is a bit risky. Wei already about half health there. Xiaohu, transition. He gets caught but has the abscond. Just waiting to use the abduct. And the Dragon now in front of JDG, but Yagao, he flashes too late. It's Xiaohu. Gets his own Emperor's Divide, but goes down. First blood for JDG.
I mean, big mistake from RNG. Like, Wei didn't have enough control over his lanes to go for that play. Xiaohu had a slight push in mid that was very quickly dealt with by Yagao. Same when you look at the bot side. And because of that now, JDG, they're going to be in a ton of control as to how they want to play the map. Slow push started by Hope and Missing to create this massive wave on bot side. Means that they'll be able to move Missing up towards that Rift Herald off of this massive shove. You can't really try and answer back for the trade now as Gala Ming, because Dragon is gone. You're going to be facing up against the big wave. It's all a bit of a mess. Even actually looking at it, the plate gone on that bot side with no one to pick up because no one was able to auto-attack the tower. Though, doesn't mean a pretty big wave was missed by Hope and Missing.
Yeah, that'll be a nice little, I guess, bargaining chip for JDG's bottom lane. But I still think the plate gone, that's some gold Gala that's missing. It feels a little bit bad. I think RNG themselves looking up towards top lane, it looks like they're trying to get this combo of Xiaohu and Wei on the board with the skirmishing. But meanwhile, JDG knows exactly where they want to focus, and it's all bot lane.
They have a feeling, though, that JDG are here, so they're starting up the Rift Herald. So counterplay from RNG is made, and Gala and Ming are just going to try and back away.
They tried, but that's a lot of damage back, and the flash is already burned by Ming. Luckily, Gala doesn't have to burn his, but it'll be some plates to Hope and Missing and Kanavi.
And I think they're trying to, JDG are trying to force RNG to use this Rift Herald away from the bot lane. If Gala's not getting the kills, but then the main source of damage for RNG isn't quite here. But you still have to be careful. Like, Xiaohu with an advantage is going to be a massive threat, especially for people like Hope, if he can steal away the Gnar ultimate, the Emperor's Divide, even the Tidal Wave. Breathe as well. We all know what a Kennen can do in these big team fights with that ultimate if he has a lead. Once that exhaust from Missing doesn't connect, he can take over.
At the end of all things, First Dragon goes to JDG as they make a play onto it, gets a full reset off on the bottom side of the map. But I want to check back in to where we look next for RNG, right? They have the Rift Herald here. We started seeing Xiaohu moving out of the mid lane to try to connect with Wei. Do you see them just kind of funneling this towards Gala and Ming? Do you see maybe Breathe getting some of the resources at this point?
I think their best bet is to try and use it to Gala. Even though they didn't get the turret plate bot, there's still a turret plate gone on that bot lane turret. And also the fact that Gala and Ming are going to be your main source of damage is going to be great. My biggest issue is trying to see how you make that happen. Because you'd need to try and make a gank in mid as way, unlock Xiaohu, lean him into bot side, and especially when, I mean, Kanavi's in a good spot, Missing you already see roaming around the map, it becomes a lot more difficult to make that play happen, which is why it looks like Ming is going to try and help out Wei in having that sort of control. Like, both jungle support in river means you've got to play it safe as Yagao, and that'll let Xiaohu push out.
I will say, though, I've really appreciated JDG's vision game here. The where they have set up the wards every time, it's stopping the full-on transition from the mid gank into the bottom lane and try to collapse on them. And it's been really nice to see because they know when to back off. They know when to pull off. And Kanavi, right on the hover every time, just make sure that if something does happen, they can pull a play of their own right afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, Yagao had the push coming back in the mid, so he would have been able to join in for a 4v4 on the bot side. So it looks like, as you say, like Kanavi just making sure to mirror whatever Wei is doing and prevent him from being able to use the Rift Herald. You've only got half the timer left on this Rift Herald as well, so they really need to make something happen. It looks like it's just going to be brute force the bot lane off the reset from Kanavi, and also as Wei is coming back out of base.
Yeah, Wei will actually go down to the spot lane, so I would expect the Rift Herald to be utilized down here. They're actually getting backs off here as well as Kanavi transitioning towards the top side of the map. Will be nobody here to defend for a little while, and this could be some nice plays for Gala and Ming. Just got to get the wave pushing a little bit. Top lane, though, we get the 1v1. Mega Gnar from 369 will be used. They wanted to get Breathe away from him because that was about to end real bad.
RNG, though, still getting the advantage. Like, the fact that Xiaohu again has been able to get control over mid and then let RNG lean bot is going to be fantastic. Xiaohu lean top, though, which means that it's actually Yagao moving bot.
He's back again. Kanavi's back in the bot lane. I don't know how the rest of the song goes, but Kanavi wants to make the song go bottom lane. Yeah.
This is bad. This is bad. But this is the problem, right? JDG, they try to make the pillar come in, but Kanavi doesn't actually manage to connect with it. So they don't have Yagao in position to quite follow up. Missing is still trying to play keep up as well. So now RNG get the plates, they back away, and you've still got control over the map for the moment. But Xiaohu has reset. Yagao
he wanted it.
Looks for Wei.
He was about to deliver him to a Missing Hope, and Kanavi doesn't find it, though, as Wei will get back into his jungle farming. It's the very different starting of the game in this game 3 that we're getting. It is 1 kill at 13 minutes. It is a lot more reservation coming through for both of these teams, respecting their opponent in the culmination of this match of the week. It's honestly impressive to watch, but it's also at any moment something could just explode.
I think for JDG, they were hoping that that explosion would be on the bottom side. They have been able to get Hope and Missing some of these turret plates, and Hope and Missing still playing very aggressive, but it's not the big advantage that JDG were really hoping for on the spot side. And I think shout out to Wei, shout out to Gala and Ming for being able to control that one. And now you're starting to see again, like, these one-item spikes going to come through for RNG, making it tough for JDG to continue on bot side.
Hope, I know you're trying to bait him to Kanavi, but Kanavi's on a ward and Hope is about to die. So luckily he backs off of there, and Wei is now back here. It's just been 3v3, no longer a duo lane. Dagda, did you know the new update was the 3v3 lane? They already pull the trigger at Kanavi, and he is down. Cyclone on for Wei, but he'll get pushed down afterwards with the Gale Force forward from Hope. They are bringing down Yagal. They're followed quickly by Xiaohu. It'll be a nice return from RNG. Now Xiaohu trying to go back in on Yagal here as he had the crown, but the damage reduction is gone now. Xiaohu trying to get out of there as he's just getting poked down and prodded.
Surprised Xiaohu went for the aggressive trade there. You've got the Crown of the Shadow Queen, as we talked about, the ultimate available for Yagao. Xiaohu wasn't able to steal his own one back, and you don't even have the mythic completed yet for Xiaohu as well. So looks like he will just finish this one out. Reset then in towards the the mid lane, and I'm not quite sure what that replay was on top side. I didn't get.
They just traded ultis. They said, "Hi, how you doing?" And okay. Slicing Maelstrom for the Meganar ulti. No big deal.
I mean, I will say that's actually a pretty big win for 369. So nice job by 369, because with Rift Herald about to spawn, the ultimate for Gnar basically back up.
Yep.
Ultimate for Breathe nowhere near the same level of cooldown. So now the Gnar has the opportunity, at least he can manage his Gnar bar, to be more of an impact after this Rift Herald. But JDG immediately looking for the dragon. You have the potential TP for 369. So RNG said, hey, instead of making a play on the numbers disadvantage bot, we'll just make a play top.
Meganar ulti into the wall. 369 only a mini Gnar has the flash to get out under the tower. Kanavi is doing the Rift Herald, but that'll be second dragon secured by JDG. They know a secondary win condition for themselves at this point as they're trying to get that soul. It'll be Hextech soul here, but RNG again claiming the second Rift Herald is huge for them. They're trying to capitalize even further onto 369, but Breathe gets a couple extra tower shots there, and Yagao wanted to follow him up.
They wanted to get that TP from Yagao though, because the wave on bot meant they would have got the outer turret for RNG. That would have been more gold, more map pressure for JDG. So RNG forced the dive, get the TP from Yagao, and keep that bot lane standing for the moment. But 369 will now TP to bot side. We'll manage to still collect that one. So all said and done, 2 TPs burned for JDG off of an objective that honestly they should have been able to get already. So RNG going to be relatively happy with that.
I want to talk check-ins here real quick because we're 16 minutes in. We're looking at the early game and seeing a lot of missing intuition, I feel like, for JDG. We haven't gotten the missing hope explosion that we were saying we wanted. How do you feel about the win conditions for RNG at this point, for the late game?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit easier for RNG right now because they have the Rift Herald to try and crack open mid lane turret, or even if they can find that advantage to move up towards top side. It's a little bit more difficult for JDG because they have a short range on hope and missing, and you're starting to hit the point where it's much more difficult for them to just bully a lane like Gala and Ming, especially as people start to rotate in towards the mid lane, and the AD carries have those shorter lanes to work with. So for me, it's about JDG trying to force advantages at these fights now over the next few minutes, especially 3 minutes when this dragon is up. Use the fact that Hope should have his second item completed. Gale Force, the damage from missing, can do a lot here if they're able to.
We'll have to see if those win conditions continue to pan out, if RNG can make it work, but 369 finding a flank onto Breathe here. He won't have Meganar just yet, but he'll be stacking it up. Kanavi actually makes it here first. Wei was here in the first place, but Breathe flash over the wall is going to be huge. Goes over to missing, though, dodges out with the Hextech Proto Belt over the bubble, and now it's Wei going in the Cyclone onto Kanavi. This is chaos, and this is what we've seen all game. 17.5 minutes. Not much blood, but it is skirmishing. It is testing the waters. It is just fisticuffs.
But it's distraction play, right? JDG are making this play buck because they're like, hey, we either get Breathe or we get the attention of RNG. And that attention means that Yagao is free to get that turn on the top side. So again, JDG winning out on the map, making these small little plays. So you can see RNG kind of struggling to get their footing to turn these plays around because JDG are just backing away nice and quick. So now there's only that mid lane turret remaining. 369 can push in boss. You can have Yagao push in top, and then the opportunity to always keep control over these jungle areas, or even just keep control over RNG's access to river.
It's denying access. It's denying a lot of map mobility around and especially it feels like you know, RNG haven't really been able to pull the team fight comp all together, right? It's been a lot of skirmishing here or there. Somebody's not always there. You're looking, again, like we wanted to see with the last time we saw the kid in last game. We're trying to see the big flanks, the big setups go through and the execution be there. But so far, not so good
Oh,
for RNG. He has TP. He's going to make it out, right?
Yeah, he's out of there. He's long gone. So TPing back into mid. We'll spot it, but a minute until this dragon. This is where we're going to have to see if we can get those big fights, Mizel. And that's why I think it's important for JDG to try and have control of rivers so they can spot flanks from RNG. But RNG going to brute force their way through mid tower with this Rift Herald. Wei takes a lot of damage there on the way out, but yeah,
they go for the engage as it falls. Tidal wave comes through, but the depth charge went as well. Ming almost taken out. Moonlight Vigil used by Gala. The culling stolen and used by Xiaohu as well. Here comes 369, but not Meganar. He's just trying to set. Oh my God, Gala has to use the Gale Force out.
And JDG have forced them back now. That's mid-turret, 30 seconds till Dragon. Full reset's going to have to come through for RNG. And look at the vision. They just don't have any setup in this bot side river. So trying to get position for Breed to find these major flanks, even denying the reset again from Ming, means that they will be late towards the objective. Yes, Hex Gates will help, but what can Breed do?
369, you have to get out of there as they have cross use. But something that always just amazes me and astounds me with JDG is their quickness to turn up the heat level, to get that aggression on and just put the pedal to the metal. And we've seen it demolish so many teams this season, and they're willing to do it against top teams like RNG. You see, even in the last couple of games, moments where JDG are just taking it to them, even in like deficits, even in parts where they shouldn't be trying to take these fights. They're always willing to play the confidence play, to play the hands play. And it really has been interesting to watch.
And at least in this game, it's given them a sizable advantage over RNG. Like, willing to take that mid lane fight meant that you had to back away as Gala, back away as Ming. Now no contest comes through for third dragon, and JDG are on Soul. No dragons to RNG's name means that now JDG are like, cool, we have a phenomenally strong Baron team. You try and go towards dragon, we will turn and fight, because we can actually get that with Yagao, missing 369 coming in on a flank, or we will just take Baron. Now Wei spotted, or did not spot by Kanavi, but now will.
Meganar stolen by Xiaohu as well. They'll TP for JDG, but that's Meganar ulti into the wall. Wei goes in with the Cyclone as well. Yagao's finally here, but Breathe comes in just at the nick of time. Maelstrom goes a bit wide after that Emperor's Divide. Wei goes right back in. Ming is trying to Spider-Man his way to the fight, but it's too late. Yagao already got one of the kills, and RNG, they're in some trouble here. JDG know when to pull it forward, but there you go. Gala over the wall. He can't do it. The bubble from missing. It shuts him down. And a huge play for JDG. RNG are done.
That exhaust from missing was so clutch. Now JDG find the victory, and Pings immediately go over towards the Baron. JDG, with that play, have cracked open RNG.
Cracked open like an oyster on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. It is incredible the way they decisively pick at RNG and then find those picks. This was RNG setting this up, and then JDG with the commit, the TP into the fight, the huge separation.
Individual plays here are crucial. Yagao with the reset on the potential ultimate from Breathe was important. Wei going that bit too far forward. And then here, watch Gala. This is actually a great hero play from Gala, but watch the immediate exhaust. Doesn't get the damage up before the Inferno Bolt actually pops. The exhaust is there. So Gala's damage completely neutralized by missing. And from that point forward, Hope's got speed ups. He's got the Gale Force. He's got everything he needs to shut down RNG.
And at this point, RNG is reeling. Have JDG back onto the map now. Ulti's available. Breathe actually on the side here with the flank, with slicing Maelstrom. Can they catch out Yagao? But he has the crown.
Spotted.
They can't do much against Yagao until they get the crown off of him. The rest of the team from
Breathe
RNG,
wasn't spotted.
they are collapsing here. Ming steps forward, gets some damage done. Xiaohu with the tidal wave over the wall. Breathe with the big slicing Maelstrom on the side. They get missing, but it's only the fish. Can 369 get back into the fight? Breathe is caught out. Breathe is down, and 369 is moving forward. He doesn't even have Meganar, but he's slowing down. Gala gets the Everfrost out as well.
That was just so well backed off of by JDG. Don't get caught out. Missing the only one that gets separated. And despite the fact that it looked like Xiaohu and Breed had a fantastic flank, JDG managed to disentangle themselves and move away from it. RNG lose more. And again, these plays all the time being thwarted. You'll see it here in the replay. Like, Breed doesn't get spotted. It was like the perfect spot for him to be in. But it doesn't matter. It's just not enough there for RNG.
They're going to try to get back onto the map and find something for themselves. But we're looking at those item differentials, right? We're like an item up on multiple members of JDG. The lead getting a little bit too far out in front of RNG at this point. But they're still trying to look for vision. They're trying to look for setups. And if they can get the right catch out, maybe not missing, but if they can catch out Hope, a lot of the damage does get backed off of JDG.
Yeah, you need to get these early resets for RNG and establish yourself in River for dragging this in a minute's time. Like, 3-6 or Breed will have his TP back up, but he needs somewhere to TP to get in on that flank position. No flash is going to mean he needs to be very specific with where he's going to be, and even then, going to have to contend with Missing's Exhaust, who's going to be back up. Gala, only having 2 items, is not going to be as strong as Hope at this stage of the game, whereas when you look across at Yagao, he's late game. 3 items already completed on Yagao because of the 5 kills, and this has been one of Yagao's best picks over the course of his career. The Azir has been such an important pick for JDG for so long, and we're getting to see it once more for Yagao.
It's actually turning up so huge. He's also got the Shadow Flame now for the tankiness that we're starting to see build up on RNG. But JDG, they say, you can get your first dragon of the game. We'll take more towers here. We'll take an inhib if you let us. And RNG realize they're a bit split, right? You're watching Xiaohu and Ming try to set up something, but they got to commit to the dragon at this point. They're just going to lose the inhib.
And that's what we're talking about. You get to make plays like this as JDG because no dragons have been gained by RNG. Base is cracked. And you know what's on that top side of the map, Mazel? It's a bloody Baron because JDG are immediately going to be able to get control over that area as well as they stop off to take this tier 2. Great understanding of how they can punish RNG in the map.
They punish so heavily as well. Don't think they'll go for the Baron at this point, but they'll take all the rewards on their way out. And a lot of gold, a lot of pressure given to JDG. Okay, never mind, I take my words back. They just started up because they can.
I mean, you've got no vision here as RNG, no flank opportunities. 369 is pushing mid, so honestly, he's the one that you're going to be worried about as a flank. If you're RNG, Ming goes in though.
He does. They got the big tidal wave though. Wei is into the pit. They find Kanavi. Kanavi's dead. The Baron's still low. Big Hope is not going to be enough hope, but 369, Meganar into the wall. He's all by himself. And RNG, they'll finally find a fight. They'll find the Baron, and don't call it a comeback.
JDG lose the fight, they lose the Baron, and they tried to bite off 2 more than they can chew. Top stop was the problem before the Baron, and RNG come back. We'll catch it here in the replay. 369 in Mininar means that he doesn't really have the tools that he needs. Wei flashing over with the Infernum coming through here alongside Xiaohu with that. The ultimate from Breed with the ultimate from Xiaohu murders Yagao on the back line, so his damage isn't relevant. And 369, just that little bit too late, not able to finish off the super low health bars.
And just the aggression onto Kanavi to keep him out. He even flashes to get to the other side of Baron, but dies anyways, just trying to stay alive. And that was greed coming out from JDG. I even said, I was like, I don't know if they go over the Baron. It was a little bit behind the play, but they went for it. And these are the kinds of mistakes that we do see JDG make, but usually it's in game 1 or game 2, not in a pivotal game 3.
And that's the thing now, is that you're giving much needed gold over to RNGs. You can see up 3.5k off that Baron play already. Gold going into Gala to get to an IE. Xiaohu now on 3 items. Breathe close to a Rabadon's death cap. And if he finishes that, his threat in fights is going to be astronomical, especially when he just won that fight without needing the flash. Now the Rabadons and flash are available. You have to be incredibly careful as JDG. If Missing doesn't have exhaust, Breathe can win a fight solo.
And that's all about the setup. That's what we're talking about so much for RNGs. They still have tools. They still have late game carry. They still have Gala, the pentakill king at this point. On the Aphelios, needs to be putting out the damage, but it's Breed's flanks, it's Wei's engagements, it's Ming not overextending himself that will get them, I guess, still back into this game even if they have the lead, because the pressure is on JDG's side.
Well, JDG, at least even though the Baron is up, will still have control over the map, and that's where, for the moment, RNG are struggling. That mid inhibitor is still down. This bot lane will be dealt with by RNG, but JDG still in a good spot. Gold has evened up, but it's just with the advantages that this mid lane is able to garner on the map for JDG. They will continue to push forward. 30 seconds though until the dragon falls, a minute and a half until that next dragon, and it does feel like this Brazel is where we're going to see if we can get that massive fight as RNG go for early resets to try and get the wards they need in River.
Yeah, Missing already in position here with a little bit of warding himself around the dragon pit, but that mid lane priority has been so key for both these teams setting up in front of the dragon. JDG, again, they have all the play in the world here. They do not necessarily have to take this dragon, but with the momentum RNG are starting to gain, it feels like they might start having to fight over this, having to try to take this and start the Elder Dragon clock.
Yeah, but at least the purchases aren't quite there for Gala if you're a JDG fan. Still only sitting on 2 items where you got 3 across the board essentially for your 2 carries on JDG's side. Wei not really in a position to try and strike back, but at least has a level advantage over Kanavi, and Wei's damage could be a difference maker here alongside Breathe. But I'm keeping my eyes on this Kennen. Will he get exhausted by Missing?
Will he or won't he? Gala, having cleared the super minions in the mid lane, will be moving in here, but 25 minutes for the dragon. They just got to push out this mid lane a little bit more. You see the mini map here, pings coming from both teams, trying to set up in that choke point in front of the dragon pit, and JDG are primed and ready to go.
Xiaohu has narrowed. JDG.
Oh wait, Xiaohu used the Mega Gnar ulti there.
I think it was about to time out, which was what I was about to say, is that Xiaohu was running out of time for that. He's had it for a while, so I think he was worried about JDG going for Soul started.
Yeah, they already get the dragon though. Xiaohu on the side tries to catch out 369, but the rest of JDG can follow up on the side. 369 does go down. The tidal wave on the Gala does not connect. Gala gets hit by the bubble though. Over the wall comes RNG, and down goes JDG. That's a TP into the mid lane. They want to push the pressure. They want to take and give a little bit of the medicine that JDG has always given these teams. And Xiaohu pushes the mid lane, pushes the tower, and a big win for RNG.
Xiaohu has the hijack back up, could steal away the 0 from Yagao, and that could potentially be the play that RNG use to end the game. No real ultimates available other than Gala's with the Graviton Moonlight Vigil. Can RNG find us?
Engage there onto Yagao. He gets a big Emperor's Divide back, but Gala is full health. He's firing away. RNG! Have they broken the curse here, Dagda? They're trying to take down
No
Kanavi.
way.
Kanavi has given his life away, and RNG, they've taken down Kanavi, missing the only one left. Here comes 369. Here comes Hope. Can they get the big damage? It's the Nexus focus, but JDG, they will not find it.
It's
the
so
Mega
low.
Gnar to the wall. 369. It's not enough, and RNG will defeat JDG.
How are Xiaohu and Ko so calm? They just barely won that game by the skin